And Director of the Public Affairs at the Ghana Police Service, DSP Sefas Arthur, has told Joy News 4 people have been confirmed dead after renewed clashes at Bimbilla in the northern region. DSP Arthur, speaking on News Desk, said reinforcement has been deployed from Kumasi to beef up security in the area.
From the CID headquarters have also been deployed to the police to ensure that we maintain the peace and prevent any recurrence of the incident.
In other words, this matter has been transferred to the police headquarters.
No, it is the communication of it that is being handled at the police headquarters, not the matter itself being transferred yet. It is what is of prime importance at this particular point is maintenance of law and order at the police, and then investigating to bring the perpetrators to book, which we can assure the general public we are working hard at. So everything is concentrated there apart from information. Maybe that I know that the communication team on the ground can also assist you.
How many more deaths been recorded?
Our information has it that 4 persons are confirmed dead.
Have we identified these persons who died?
We are not in a position to talk about the identification yet because we don't have the identities of the individuals or the victims or the deceased. Further investigations will bring up that.
Let's talk about general security in Bimbilla now. How is the police ensuring that we don't see anything erupt anytime soon?
As I mentioned earlier, I've said that we have flown various squads of riot control, anti-terrorists, and then and other police officers to the place to maintain law and order. We said that the formed police unit, which is one of our high level of riot control teams, and also has units, anti-terrorist units and other people from Kumasi to the place. And then we have also flown an anti-terrorist squad from the police headquarters. Then the crime scene and homicide squad from the CID headquarters Accra. They've all been flown to the area to join forces with the regional command and the security that is already on the ground, and with our counterpart in the military to ensure that the place is secured and no untoward event is recorded.
Meanwhile, government has announced a 100,000 Ghana cedi reward for anyone with information leading to the arrest of the killers of the overload of Bimbilla, Dasana and Dani. The traditional ruler was set to be the target of latest chieftaincy clashes at his palace, which also led to the killing of 3 other persons. 5 persons, including a 4-month-old baby, also sustained serious injuries and are receiving treatment at the Tamale Teaching Hospital. In a statement Friday, government condemned the attacks and expressed deepest regrets the gruesome murder of the overload of Bimbilla and and 3 others on Thursday. A financial package of 100,000 cedis will be awarded to anyone who provides information leading to the arrest of the perpetrators of this act. The statement signed by Information and Media Relations Minister Mahama Ayariga said security agencies have already started investigations into this heinous crime and every effort is being made to bring the perpetrators to justice. Now, Ghana has come in for commendation for achieving the MDG 1 of halving poverty, a feat chalked in 2011, 4 years ahead of the target date. A new UN report, however, says about half of the country's wealth is owned by only 20% of the population, while the poorest 20% are left with only 5% of the national wealth. Addressing such inequalities is one of the main objectives of the post-MDG discussions ongoing between government and the United Nations. Joy News' Justice Bedu sat through one of such meetings and filed this report.
Despite the current economic gloom, Ghana still has a lot to show as far as growth and development is concerned. An African success story, it has a vibrant and a fair distribution of basic social services. But whilst Ghana has pulled ahead of many of its peers in economic statistics as poverty reduction, the country's most impoverished are still living on the borderline.
The evidence as of now shows that there is wide social inequality, particularly between the richest and the poor in terms of access to education and even healthcare. When you are in an unequal society, there is high tendency for social misupheavals, political tension, conflicts and others.
Indicators clearly show the worsening inequality. Between 1999 and 2006, for example, the top 20% of Ghana's richest people grew to own up to 50% of its wealth, whilst the bottom 20 earned only 5% of total national income. This imbalance, according to the UN's Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, continues.
At the same time that Ghana was reducing poverty, inequality was growing very, very rapidly in the country, and some people would argue that in fact Ghana has one of the fastest rates of inequality growth on the continent. In terms of levels, Ghana is still much below countries like South Africa and others, particularly in Southern Africa, who for historical reasons have had very high rates of inequality growth.
Ghana has won huge global credit for its efforts in improving universal access to basic education. For example, the country has also done well in reducing HIV and AIDS prevalence, which currently stands below 2% among the populace. But the country is still lagging behind in such goals that has to do with sanitation and also with maternal mortality. Even with areas where Ghana has done so well, there are growing concerns of disparities between the three northern regions and the other parts of the country.
People tend to say, well, we can eat macroeconomic stability. Ultimately, you do eat macroeconomic stability. That's why we are focused on that. On bringing down the rate of inflation, for instance, which is linked to so many other things. Rate of inflation is linked to the rate of depreciation, the rate of growth in public expenditure and all that. If you listen to the Minister of Finance when he appeared before Parliament, actually exactly 1 month ago, he had a long list of initiatives that have been put in place to help address precisely these things. If you scale back on government spending, for example, you make more money available for the banking sector, even the non-bank sector, so that money then can be made available for businesses to grow and so forth and so on.
As Ghana prepares its next development framework, there are growing concerns for an inclusive growth that would ensure that the country's poorest of the poor are at the heart of national development.
Now, the failure of government to release funds for the operations of the judiciary has led to the closure of some courts around the country. From Cape Coast to Koforidua and other cities, cases are being forwarded to Accra to be heard. The Ghana Bar Association is asking government to immediately release funds to the judicial service, as it currently has no money to conduct cases. According to the association, the judicial service has not received its subvention, thus making the efficient running of the service impossible. Dr. Maurice Ampar is president for the Legal Advocacy Foundation, and I have him here with the studio. We'll look into this matter over the next few minutes. Pleasure having you.
Always, I'm so excited to be here this afternoon.
Yeah, I see. Well, what's your view on this? No money, we can do cases?
Personally, I'm somehow disappointed and frustrated with this development, because it should not be up to get to this stage where an important institution like the judiciary will be struggling to raise money to finance its operation. Because you see, it's a clear violation of Article 1793 of the Constitution, which provides that the Chief Justice must make available all the necessary expenditure to the executive president, who then present it to Parliament for Parliament to approve, and then the money released. Failure to do so is a violation of Article 179 and then Article 127 of the Constitution. Because the judiciary rely on the money from the constitutional fund. They contribute into this fund, and therefore, definitely, they are entitled to the fund. And it is a constitutional provision, because the judiciary should not be stifled with money. We have a situation whereby, according to the bar, the judiciary have to beg on a knee for the executive to release money, which is improper and unfortunate.
It also means that beyond asking government to pay its subventions, there are other ways of forcing the executive to do what it's supposed to do as per the Constitution.
Yeah, you see, the judiciary per se has a difficult situation because they are responsible for the administration of justice and resolution of disputes. Now, this is the institution that now will the institution take the government to court? Who will sit on the matter? There will be conflict of interest because when the judiciary files a suit against the state, then who is going to sit on the matter? Is it the same judge? It will amount to breach of natural justice. Therefore, we need civil society, and then the Ghana Bar Association leading the crusade. Civil society have to come in. But I am expecting the Chief Justice to lead the crusade of trying as much as possible to put pressure on the executive through petition, and then the judiciary must come out with a publication or a release, so that pressure will be there on the executive. Because you see, there's no way out. I've never heard that the executive is broke. The only institution that is broke is the parliament and the judiciary. But the executive always have money, and then the parliament and the judiciary sit down on concern. Meanwhile, the executive cannot spend without approval of parliament, and then the executive also needs the judiciary to keep the peace and to maintain law and order. So how can the two institutions sit down for the executive to bully them or to exploit them and to expose them to public hatred and ridicule? It's a shame. So therefore, I'm expecting the judiciary to put pressure on the government, and this must be led by the Chief Justice. She is the head of the administration, and should be seen to putting pressure on the president. I think he has a cordial relationship with the president. They attend the same church, and so what is stopping her from putting the necessary pressure to get the funds released to the institution?
Now we have courts closing in Koforidua, in Kumasi, in Cape Coast rather, and the cases are being brought down here to Accra. What implications has the got?
The implication is one: access to justice is being denied the ordinary Ghanaian, because the courts must be accessible to the people. And when you take into consideration accessibility in terms of cost of transportation and the frustration, the risk in traveling from one place to the other. So once the Chief Justice was trying to bring justice closer to the people by expanding the cost structure, now because of lack of fund, the justice is being denied the ordinary Ghanaian, because if you have a case at Cape Coast on appeal, you have to come to Accra, Kumasi, Eastern region. It is sad. The implication too is that then you have one court handling a lot of cases. So there will be a backlog of cases, and it will put pressure on the judiciary, and especially the judges, because the judges will be tired and they cannot sit on many cases. So it's going to affect rule of law, democracy, and then also the ordinary Ghanaian who justice is being, who needs justice will be denied justice, and accessibility to justice will be defeated.
For the system to lack funds for a smooth running, for its smooth running, how can this affect the justice system?
You see, I don't see why the judiciary should be denied what is due them under the Constitution. So it means that some people are not doing their work. It means that somebody is afraid. Somebody is afraid to tackle, to go to the place to see. I'm expecting the leadership of the judiciary to take the executive on, or for them to file a suit to compel them to do what they are supposed to do under the Constitution. But the effect is quite clear. It is going to make the work of the judiciary difficult, because judges will not have the confidence, their morale is down, it will affect the delivery of judgment. Now we will not attract the best lawyers to go into the bench. And also, it will affect rule of law and democracy. Good governance is being affected here, because we are talking about an institution that you cannot do away with. You realize that Parliament and executive can always be, you can do away with those two institutions. Anytime there is coup, the coup makers can dissolve Parliament. They also dissolve the executive, but they leave the judiciary. It's a specialized institution. Therefore, you cannot toy with the judiciary. Its role in administration of justice and ensuring law and order. Quite remember, when the legislative petition was filed, it was not filed in Parliament, it was not filed in any institution, but the institution that handled the legislative petition and brought finality to the petition and peace and stability is the judiciary. Why are you stabbing the judiciary of doing such a good work? And I think some people should be responsible.
Could another effect be a corrupt judicial system?
Definitely, because you see, when you have judges who are denied what is due them, they are not being paid, their conditions of service so bad, they are working in a bad environment, then they'll be tempted to accept bribes. You see, and that is exactly what we are seeing. Some of the judges have corrupted themselves because of the hardship they find themselves in.
And so we are already there.
They are already there. And it's a shame. It's a shame to Ghana's democracy and rule of law, and it's a shame also to our quest to good governance. And we should not allow this thing to happen. And some of us are calling on the president to act immediately, or else by 1 week, 2 weeks, some of us will declare hunger strike. Because, do you know the reason why?
So some of us being yourself?
Me, yes. Do you know the reason why? Because that is our source of livelihood. When the judiciary collapse, lawyers will not get work to do. So it's better for us to go and to not to eat and put pressure on the powers that be to resource the judiciary for us to be in business.
And to deepen knowledge of the judicial system here in Ghana, there is the Know Your Rights campaign by the Legal Advocacy Foundation, which you're founder of. Tell us a bit about it.
The Legal Advocacy Foundation is just 4 years old. And being the president, I've decided that the best way to bridge the gap between the rich and the poor is to empower the ordinary Ghanaian to know his or her rights. So this is a campaign that I've decided to go to schools, hospitals, homes, and everywhere to make sure that I bring justice and the law closer to the ordinary Ghanaian, and also to ensure that the ordinary Ghanaian is empowered. So it's a campaign that I'm going to make sure that I get the necessary support from civil society, from the church leadership, the various traditional institutions, and the government in power to ensure that I bring the law closer to the northern person.
What form is it taking, though?
It's taking in the form of me leading the campaign. I'm going to train 50 legal volunteers in every region, making 500, so that I empower them to understand the fundamental human rights and the Constitution. Then we hit the ground running. It will be more of like legal evangelism. We will send people to do evangelism, try to explain their constitutional right to them, and then it will be in a form of lecture, and then also getting closer to the various churches, schools, and communities to educate them on their fundamental human right.
How important is it for one to know, the inroads of the judicial system?
It's simple. When you are able to read the Constitution and then also have a copy of the laws governing the judiciary, it's so easily. But more importantly, if you are very interested, you can know. You get closer to those who are doing campaign, and that's exactly some of the things we are going to do. We are going to expose and make sure that the ordinary person understand the justice system and how they can benefit from it.
So when are we going to see this hit the road?
I'm launching it 26th June. And then after the 26th June, I begin to go and seek the blessings, pay a call on the various leaders in the country, chiefs. I'll go to churches. I will try to visit the president, the president for moral support. Then we go and then start the campaign.
Thank you very much, Dr.
And I hope
Ampao.
you will also be part of it, a legal volunteer.
Hopefully I will be. Many thanks for your time. Dr. Maurice Ampao is founder of the Legal Advocacy Foundation. Now, sadly, 4-month-old Miracle Imba is in urgent need of a surgery to correct a hole in heart medical condition she's suffering. Doctors at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital say the surgery cannot be done here in Ghana and that she may die soon if it's not done immediately. Her mother, Lydia Asubire, is appealing to the general public to support her foot the $10,000 cost of the surgery.
Long, painful cry of a 4-month-old baby whose life is on the line. Young Miracle has a hole in heart, a dire medical condition that affects the way you breathe and can kill even the strongest of persons. Doctors say the treatment is beyond them and that it has to be done abroad at a cost of at least $10,000. Her short lifetime on earth has been one of trouble, says her middle-aged mother, Lydia Asubire.
I gave birth to her on the 9th of February 2014. So a month later, she was not growing. So I took her to the Burger hospital. So it was there that they didn't actually tell me what was wrong with her. So they refer us to Tamale Teaching Hospital. So it was there that they noticed that she has hole in the heart, but not they couldn't know the type of hole in the heart that it was. So they have to also refer me to Accra, Kolebu. So it was here on the 27th of last month that I was here in Kolebu. So it was there that they noticed that they were able to tell me exactly what was wrong. And they also said it cannot be done. Operation must carry on her, but they cannot do it here.
She hopes for a brighter future for her baby, but that would only happen if her plea for support yields result, as she says her resources alone are woefully inadequate.
She breathes very fast, very, very fast, and she sweats a lot. When she sucks the breast milk, she sweats a lot. For the breathing, it's very fast. And the doctor said because of the breathing, the way it goes fast, the surgery must carry on very soon. I want people to help me to save her life because she is suffering a lot because of the breathing. She suffers a lot. In the night, she doesn't sleep. She cries all day.
Anyone who wants to support Little Miracle to undergo this urgent surgery can donate to the Ghana Commercial Bank account number 1271130008922. Circle branch or contact Multi TV premises here at Kokomlemle in Accra. You can also call us on 0302 211 688.
For whom you are on to me, son.
There's business ahead here on News Today. Don't go away. Let's talk business now. Labour expert Danso Kwesi Echampon says government must constantly engage Labour on any new policy initiative to ensure serene Labour front. He spoke on the AM show after Minister of Finance Tekwe announced in Parliament that as part of measures to curtail the rising wage bill, government is putting steps in place to ensure that salaries are increased based only on performance.
No, I think I attribute this into failure of our industrial relation practice in Ghana. And you see, it's a failure in the sense that Section 97 of the Labour Act talks of good faith negotiation, where the employer, employees, and the unions concerned will meet at the standing negotiation table level. And then discuss common issues that they have interest in. And therefore, for one party to go to Parliament with virtually a drawn policy to inform Parliament means that it's not negotiable, and therefore from the word go, whatever he's saying is inconsistent with the practice of which the Labour Act is envisioning. And therefore, for government to be able to solve this properly, they need to repackage, go back to the joint standing negotiations that put all government employees and their unions together as one negotiation team against the fair wage. Where they can go and place the document there for them to discuss and come out with what we call a collective agreement package. And therefore, whatever he said in Parliament, to me, is a non-starter.
Well, speakers at a skill development workshop by Novartis and the University of Ghana Business School say the pharmaceutical industry is lacking critical expertise to sustain them as businesses. They say the sector, as a result, is unable to give up its best. They have therefore called for strengthened business skill and capacity development for players to better manage operations and deliver quality healthcare to Ghanaians.
According to them, although pharmacists undergo the needed training, the skills to develop the pharmacy businesses is lacking. The training therefore seeks to bring together some retail pharmacists and allied medical personnel in Ghana to upgrade their business management skills.
Now we are not referring to people as patients anymore, we are referring to them as clients. We need to offer service. We need to make sure that the patient feel the ambience of the environment, because it's more of a psychosocial treatment you are offering to the patient, not necessarily take 1-3 times a day and then get off my pharmacy. Yeah, so you're looking at the holistic, the total healthcare management of patients. So service delivery is key. Customer brand imaging is key, inventory management is key, so that the hospital don't run at a loss, because if the products are lying and they are expiring just because inventory management, data management has not been put into place, the hospitals will lose a whole lot of money. So we need to build that kind of skill and capacity so that the patients will get a better outcome from the pharmacy department, so that the pharmacist will not be seen, or the pharmacy department will not be seen as a place where you just go pick up your drug and leave.
Other speakers also insist on the need for industry players to upgrade themselves in the basic principles of accounting, which is not part of their pharmacy syllabus.
If you don't have that basic understanding of accounting, you may not be able to know how much people owe you, how much you owe others. You may not know the financial position of the business. You may not be able to know how to even calculate your profit, because sometimes people without any knowledge of accounting may think that once they sell so much, profit will automatically come. But that doesn't always happen, because you need to compare your revenue with your cost of sales and even go down the lane to ascertain your expenses and then charge them. Okay, and sometimes because they think that these businesses are for them, they are the owners themselves, they take anything from the business and they think it's normal because that's their business. But with this sort of training, they will take home with principles like business entity principle, where the business is separate from the owners, and therefore whatever they take from the business will be knocked against their capital. And once they have that sort of knowledge, they'll be mindful, they'll be careful when they are withdrawing cash or goods from their business.
Participants in the 2-day workshop will meanwhile be taken through customer service delivery, relationship management, pharmaceutical marketing and merchandising, among others.
But they are not out of the competition. They are still in. They just have to win their last group game against Greece, and definitely they will make a way to the round 16 stage of the competition. Now we've got some issues to do with here in Ghana, and the leadership of the various supporters union this morning heckled Deputy Sports Minister Joseph Yamin. The leadership are unhappy about government's decision to cancel the sending stranded supporters to Brazil. The Deputy Sports Minister had finished appearing on a program when the supporters unions met him here on our premises here this morning. And earlier this week, hundreds of supporters were stranded at the Kotoka International Airport. Later in the week, member of the local organizing committee for Ghana, Edua Sari, said government had decided not to airlift any more supporters to Brazil. The decision infuriated the stranded supporters. So that's it for sports here on News Today with me, Benedict Owusu. The sports segment.
So ask anyone in the music industry how the Ghanaian music industry is faring, and the answer will be it is growing, or perhaps it's just getting there. The big question is, when will we get there?
It appears the music industry here in Ghana will take a long time to grow, if you ask me. This is because whenever you ask mostly industry players what they make of the industry, you get same answers.
About the Ghanaian music industry, I think I mostly tell people that we have great potential, but we have to work hard to let that potential manifest, no pun intended. So that's where it is. We can't pat ourselves on the back like, yo, we are amazing. We say, oh, we have great promise.
Over the years, it's going to grow, and I'm hoping that.
I caught up with one up-and-coming musician who gave his name as Aite. When I asked him how he saw the Ghana music industry, his response wasn't any different.
Yeah, he's doing well. He's doing well. For now, I can see, the music industry is growing right now,
Aite, who says he has been in the industry for 10 years now, believes his latest album is what is going to take Africa by storm and turn around the Ghana music industry for the good. I simply look forward to the day the Ghana music industry will see its long-awaited growth.
Well, in our top stories, government has announced 100,000 Ghana cedi reward for anyone with information leading to the arrest of the killers of the overlord of Bimbilla na Dasana Andani. Find more news on mindyouronline.com. That's it for News Today this hour. My name is Kemeni Nyamani. Amana, enjoy the rest of our broadcast. Good afternoon.